First time I recall hearing about HIV is when my brother found out he had it. And one of my aunts died from it. AIDS. Died from AIDS.
Was when I was rather young, at like in the 5th grade at 10, when my mom's close friend died from it.
In the 80s, when I was in high school, I want to say it was about 1983.
Yeah, I had to be like in the 6th or 7th grade. It was one of those grades, and we had like a special sex education day. It was in a class.
There was a Newsweek article about HIV and AIDS, and that's when the general public started to become aware of AIDS.
I was 15 years old, so I was about, a freshman in high school.
And I remember kind of seeing this picture, and what it was, the front cover of Newsweek had all of these pictures of people who had died from it. And at that point, as a high school student, I didn't know anything about it. But instantly, I was fearful because there was no cure, there was no real understanding of what caused it. And that was my first experience.
Okay.
I became HIV positive. I found out in February of 2007.
I found out I was HIV positive when I was 20 years old.
Currently HIV positive, AIDS diagnosed. I've been living with this disease for about 5 years now.
She told me to come in. She wanted to talk to me about my test. Yeah, my heart started pumping. I just felt that something went wrong. She sat me down in her room. She showed me the result. I was HIV positive.
Personally, this disease, took away a lot of very dear people to me. One being my father, who passed away on March 4th, 1989 from AIDS. So I have a very direct experience with how devastating this disease can be.
It was Saturday, August 7th, when I tested positive. It's August 7th, 2004. There was a church block party at one of the local churches here in Brooklyn somewhere. And me and a couple of friends, we were there, and my other friend, she said, there's the blood testing van. We should all go give blood. I think she said you get like $50 if you do so. So we were all for it. And before you give blood, you have to take an HIV test. So while we did that, I remember this actor, Morris Chestnut, he was at the block party. He was signing autographs. So when I went and tested, and I was waiting for the 20 minutes to find out the results, and I remember his autograph that he signed, it said, may this be a day you'll never forget.
My name is Ashley Carrion, and I'm 23.
My name is Rachel Carrion, and I'm 20.
And I'm Marie Carrion, also 23. My fear, I had a lot of fear for my sister. I had a lot of fear of how she would view herself, how she would view us, how I would view her. I had a lot of fear because I was uneducated.
Yes, my mother died of AIDS. Now it was transferred to me actually through birth.
I, started to just read some literature that they had this other program called the Action Project. And I've always been, really, interested in helping people, helping my community. And actually when I started working as an actor, one of the things I was really conflicted about was just like, as an actor, it's always all about you. If you really want to be successful as an actor, you really have to be focused on yourself. My pictures, my hair, that's not who I am. And so it was really difficult for me to make it all about me. But when I learned that you can use the theater to really comment on the issues in society that trouble you, and I was like, oh, this is a way that I can use theater, and I can talk about all these issues that I feel are really important.
By putting a topic like HIV/AIDS, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and using performing arts, you're opening your audience, and you're catching a much wider audience, which is an awesome thing.
The rate of HIV in DC, which blew me away. That 3% of the population, was infected with HIV, on par with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or Uganda, and things like that. And that totally blew my mind. And I remember just mentioning it to Jason Duchin, our executive director, just in passing. And he was like, well, the rate in the Bronx isn't that great either. And just immediately I started to think about, wow, what a really interesting connection. If we're already going to DC and they have this really high rate of HIV, and the Bronx has the highest rate of AIDS deaths than any borough, there's this very natural connection between the two.
Yeah.
It's only right that I address this. Gotta be in it to win it. I never come lame, type killing in the game. Like get busy. It's only right that I address this.
So Metro Teen AIDS mission is to cater to supporting young people in the age of HIV and AIDS. We cater to the population from 13 to 24, and what we do, how we cater to this population is we provide them with free testing, free counseling, free condoms, free education, and we're also on the prevention side of the HIV/AIDS epidemic.
We also do outreach. We go out to different metro stations and schools and pass out condoms and surveys to talk about HIV and AIDS.
We also offer testing for HIV and AIDS, also chlamydia and gonorrhea. And it's free and confidential.
We do free testing and stuff like that to any population, but the population that we target is a 13 to 24 population. We are one of the few organizations in Washington, D.C. who cater to